Welcome again. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I had a very successful career as a classical musician in Austria, but I was really busy. All my weekends, my whole year was planned out. I knew where I was going to be, and because I always wanted freedom, my free time got squashed more and more, and so to get away from it all, I took a year sabbatical leave to travel around the world and just have a year off. And I got halfway around the world to Australia first, and in Australia I heard about New Zealand. So from Austria, New Zealand wasn't on my plan for this trip. I was going Australia, South America and so on. And I never got to South America, I never got back to Austria. I just fell in love with New Zealand. I fell in love with the people, the land, and the possibility of total freedom. And so I learned a lot about things that I never even thought of in Austria, because I was a city person and grew up in a family of musicians. And what I found in New Zealand was gardeners, health professionals, health improvement, detoxing, cleansing, all those concepts. I had no idea, never heard about these things in my Austrian life. So I got really passionately into the health side of things and my own health improvements and helping other people. And I ended up in a very self-sufficient lifestyle on the South Island, West Coast, South Island, New Zealand. And what comes with self-sufficiency is there is no money in it. So you either live in the garden and grow all your own food and be really busy, all day from before daylight to after dark, you're working for your food. And I thought I was the richest man on the planet because I could do that. And I actually did that for 10 years in one place. And the garden got really beautiful and we thought we had our life totally sorted. Happy forever after in paradise, my wife and I. And so when we thought everything was just gonna continue that way forever after, life had other plans with us. So that's when at 40 I became a father. And everything had to change. Self-sufficiency is fine for two adults who decide that they don't really want money and have much to do with the world at large. And so all of a sudden I had a future. I had a child to bring up in this world. I knew it costs a lot of money. I never wanted to say we can't afford this, which is what I heard a lot when I grew up. And a lot of my friends' children heard that a lot. So I wanted to make enough money to bring up my daughter in this world, to show her that the world is a good place full of good people and that we can travel, and that I never have to say, sorry, I can't buy you this because we haven't got the money. So money became an important aspect of my focus for the future. And after 2 years of watching the baby grow up and waiting for the right opportunity to come my way, somebody offered me an opportunity in a totally new paradigm business model I've never heard of before, and I felt into it. It felt right, it felt better the more I looked at it. And when you look at the right thing, the deeper you look into it, the better it gets, and that's what happened for me. And so with this new paradigm business model that is all about helping other people, right? You get whatever you want by helping other people get what they want. And all I wanted to do was share what I have learned in my self-sufficient lifestyle, especially the first 2 years I was there by myself before I met my wife. I was a hermit. And in that time I learned a lot about what I now call the inner game, my own inner game. So I had to learn why was all that negativity that in Europe I blamed on other people, from my mother to the teachers, pointing the finger outside saying they are telling me what to do and I want to be free. And then I'm all by myself in nature and totally free, and still the negativity in the mind was still every day I wasn't good enough, I should have done better, I should have done more, I could have done this that way and that way. The disapproval was still there. And that was the biggest thing to overcome. So when I help people now on their journey towards optimum well-being, one of the very first things is to have to look at, why do I have any negativity in my own self-talk and my own self-judgment? And one of the traps that I discovered in my subconscious was that I was taught to love my neighbor as I love myself. But the people who taught me that did not teach me how to love myself. Instead, loving myself was a total no-no. Like, you're not supposed to love yourself, it's selfish, it's a bad thing. And so when loving myself is a bad thing, how can I love my neighbor as I love myself? And I think that's a big problem on this planet now, with people not knowing how to love. We look for love outside, but we don't actually have the love inside. And I now totally believe that I can't love anybody outside of me more than I love myself. And that has to be the first step. So there's a lot of steps on this journey that I can help you with, not from having studied psychology or anything intellectual. I'm not an intellectual. I have made experiences that most people never have time for in their whole life. By having spent the 2 years by myself in nature, and then wanting to share what I've learned with you and as many people as I can, if I can make a difference in your life, by helping you look inside and make those subtle little changes, one little step at a time, so that you too can be free from that negativity, the self-inflicted, the self-judgment, self-inflicted negativity. So that's probably at the foundation of this journey that I offer. And if that is of interest to you, then let's work together and just subscribe to the 5 videos that are below here. Give us your details and let's make an appointment as soon as possible and start working together. I look forward to that.